Kim Zolciak flees county, Kroy Biermann forced to file again. Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann's relationship and its problems have made headlines over the past few months. Notably, Kroy recently called for another divorce petition. This time it was all the more notable as Kim had recently left the county. Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann have been filing for divorce since 2023. Kim is arguably best known for being one of the original cast members of Bravo's The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She has also notably appeared on Dancing with the Stars, competing during the 21st season. Kroy is a former American football linebacker, arguably best known for playing with the Atlanta Falcons. He and Kim were married in 2011. Beforehand, Kim was married to Daniel Tost from 2001 to 2003. However, back in 2023, the couple announced their separation. Within a few months, however, the two withdrew their divorce filing, with it being refiled the summer of that year. As noted by TMZ, Kroy filed a new document this past Thursday afternoon. It was noted that Kim was living in a new Georgia county. Apparently, the move was the reason behind Kroy having to file more paperwork. As the publication noted, however, the document doesn't appear much different from the refiling from back in August 2023. It was also noted, it's adding an extra step to the already long legal process. Both Kim and Kroy have sought to get the other psychologically tested. It was also noted that the couple have been trying to get away from each other over the past 2 years. At the time, the two even reportedly raced to the courthouse to file their own divorce petitions. In the ongoing years, the relationship has been the center of drama. Notably, police have made multiple visits to a Georgie house they sold and was nearly foreclosed on. In addition, creditors have made claims that the couple owes them huge debts. Reportedly, Kroy has blamed Kim, accusing her of gambling, which she herself has denied. Earlier this week, Kim had asked a judge to require Kroy take a psychological test. At the time, it was claimed he sustained CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy, during his football career. For his part, Kroy had also similarly asked for Kim to be tested. This psychological exam request was reportedly connected to his claims that Kim had a gambling addiction. As previously reported, back in 2024, Kim talked about the past few years of her marriage with People. At the time, the reality star had shared, "Nobody has any idea what I've dealt with the last 2.5, 3 years of my life. I'm trying to take the high road." The lights of Atlanta had long been a stage for Kim Zolciak, but now they were a flashing reminder of the chaos she had left in her wake. The reality TV star turned socialite had spent years basking in the glory of her fame, spinning drama into gold, and crafting an empire from wigs, wine, and witty one-liners. But as debts piled up, relationships frayed, and the walls of her glamorous world crumbled, she found herself faced with the unthinkable running. Kroy Biermann, once her knight in shining football gear, had filed for divorce again. The once happy couple had already been through a whirlwind of legal battles, financial turmoil, and reconciliations that never seemed to last. The word on the street was that Kim had fled the county, disappearing into the night like a socialite turned fugitive, leaving Kroy behind to pick up the pieces. The Great Escape. It wasn't a grand exit, not the kind she had once envisioned for herself. Champagne in hand, luxury bags in tow, off to some European paradise. No, this was something out of a crime thriller. A hastily packed bag, a burner phone, and a rental car that wasn't nearly as luxurious as what she was used to. She had always known how to make an exit, but this wasn't just about leaving a party early to avoid the press. This was survival. Kim had spent years flaunting wealth that, in reality, was as fragile as a house of cards. The Birkin bags, the custom wigs, the designer clothes, it had all been on borrowed time and borrowed money. Now the debt collectors were closing in, lawsuits loomed, and Kroy had had enough. He had tried to hold things together, but even the strongest foundations crack under the weight of financial ruin and emotional exhaustion. She couldn't stay and watch it all fall apart. She had to leave before she was forced to confront what she had been avoiding for years: accountability. Kroy's breaking point. For Kroy, This was the last straw. The former NFL player had given his all to their marriage, their family, and their image. But love alone couldn't fix financial disaster, nor could it erase the emotional toll of constant battles. Filing for divorce once had been painful. Filing again was a resignation to reality. He had hoped, naively perhaps, that they could work through it. That the over-the-top fights, the empty bank accounts, the constant need to keep up appearances, could somehow be managed. But Kim's disappearance was a slap in the face. He was left holding the legal baggage once again, forced to file for divorce in her absence, proving to the courts that he was serious this time. The whispers started almost immediately. Where had she gone? Why now? Was she running from debt, the law, or just the crumbling facade of her carefully curated life? It wasn't long before the media picked up the scent, turning the saga into a full-blown spectacle. The rumors began. Speculation ran wild. Some claimed she had fled to a secret hideaway, tucked away in the Hollywood Hills, hiding out with old reality TV connections. Others suggested she had left the country entirely, heading somewhere with no extradition treaties, living off whatever cash she could scrape together. The more dramatic theories painted her as a woman on the run from more than just financial ruin. Some whispered about hidden assets, offshore accounts, even an elaborate scheme to fake bankruptcy and disappear. None of it could be proven, but in the world Kim had built, perception was just as powerful as reality. Meanwhile, Kroy was left to deal with the fallout. He had already sold off their belongings, cars, jewelry, anything to keep afloat, but the debt was insurmountable. Filing for divorce again wasn't just an emotional decision, it was a financial necessity. He needed to separate himself legally to prove to creditors that he wasn't responsible for the chaos Kim had left behind. The reckoning. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of Kim. Paparazzi staked out airports, hotels, and luxury resorts, hoping for a glimpse of the reality star who had seemingly vanished. Social media sleuths dissected her last online posts, searching for clues in cryptic captions and filtered selfies. And then, just as suddenly as she had disappeared, she reemerged. A grainy photo surfaced. Kim, sunglasses on, head down, stepping off a plane in Miami. Had she been hiding out? Negotiating some kind of deal? Running from something bigger than just Kroy and creditors? No one knew for sure. But one thing was certain, the drama wasn't over. Kroy's legal team moved quickly, ensuring that the new filing stuck this time. There would be no last-minute reconciliations, no empty promises to work things out. The fairy tale had ended long ago, and now it was time for the final chapter. The final curtain call. Kim had always thrived in the spotlight, but now the glare was too harsh. The carefully curated persona, the extravagant lifestyle, the belief that she could charm or talk her way out of anything, it had all caught up with her. She was no longer just a reality star. She was a cautionary tale. Kroy, on the other hand, was left to rebuild. He had lost so much: money, time, love, but there was a strange sense of relief in knowing that the cycle was finally broken. He could move on, even if it meant starting from scratch. As for Kim, her next move remained uncertain. Would she attempt a comeback? Sell her story? Find another wealthy benefactor to keep up the illusion? Only time would tell. But one thing was for sure, this was a script even Hollywood couldn't have written, and for the first time in her life, Kim Zolciak was no longer in control of the narrative.